Good morning, children. So, here we are continuing with part 6 of the chapter Retirement of a Partner. In this video, we'll discuss about preparation of revaluation account. If you remember, revaluation account we have already done in the admission of a partner chapter. The same rules, format, and everything applies in the case of retirement also. As you can read, the assets and liabilities are revalued and revaluation account is prepared in the same way as is done in case of admission of a partner. And very important, the only difference is that in case of retirement, any profit or loss on revaluation is transferred to all partners' capital account in old profit sharing ratio. Revaluation account in case of retirement also is similarly is prepared just like as we prepare in case of admission. The only difference is that in case of admission of a partner, we distribute the profit or loss of revaluation only and only among the old partners in the old ratio. But in case of retirement, any profit or any loss on account of revaluation account and revaluation of assets and liabilities is distributed among all the partners including the retiring partner in the old ratio, because these assets and liabilities and their revaluation, it is also because of the contribution of the retiring partner. Then payment of the amount due to retiring partner. When a partner retires, we have already discussed then that at the time of retirement we give him his share of profit, his share of goodwill, his share of undistributed profits, his share of accumulated losses, his share of joint life policy, etc. And after adjusting all the entitlements of the retiring partner, whatever the balance is left in his capital and current account, the firm has two options. Either it can transfer, it can repay the amount immediately, it can repay the balance amount immediately to the retiring partner in cash, or it can keep the fund or the balance of the retiring partner and can pay it later on, but in that case the balance needs to be transferred to his or the retiring partner's loan account, because since the partner has already retired, so it cannot be treated as his capital. So here it is written, when the amount due to the retiring partner is ascertained after all adjustments, it is either paid out in cash or transferred to his loan account. Whatever the question will say, we will do accordingly. If the question asks you to pay it immediately in cash, we will pay it. And if the question asks you to transfer it to its loan account, then we will do that. If the amount is paid in cash or by check, the entry would be retiring partner's capital account debited, because his capital will be wiped off, to cash or bank account because cash is going out. And the narration can be being the amount due to retiring partner paid off. If the amount due is not paid in cash, the amount due to him will be transferred to his loan account. And in that case, the entry would be retiring partner's capital account debited, again because the capital account is being closed, to retiring partner's loan account, because when we transfer the balance to the retiring partner's loan account, it increases additional liability for the firm and therefore it will carry a credit balance. The narration can be being balance of retiring partner's capital account transferred to his loan account. And as I said, that whether the amount is to be transferred to his loan account or it has to be paid immediately in cash will be mentioned in the questions. But as you can read the note, if nothing is mentioned in the question regarding payment or transfer to loan account, then we will transfer the balance due to retiring partner's loan account. That means if the question does not specify whether the balance is to be paid in cash or it has to be transferred to the loan account, then in that case we will transfer the amount to the retiring partner's loan account. Let us discuss the question. This is practical question number 12A of your accounts book. It says, X, Y, and Z are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses equally. The balance sheet of the firm as at 31st March 2011 stood as follows. Liabilities side, creditors, general reserve. Now general reserve of rupees 60,000, if no further adjustment to it is given, then it will be treated as a reserve which needs to be distributed among all the partners in the old ratio. That means 60,000 will be distributed equally among X, Y, and Z in the ratio of 1:1:1, that is 20,000, 20,000, and 20,000. And the entry for this will be general reserve account debited 60,000 with the same logic as discussed earlier. Since it is a reserve, now it will be written off, therefore it will be debited to all partners capital account because it would increase their capital balance. So to X's capital account 20,000, to Y's capital account 20,000, and to Z's capital account 20,000. Then provident fund, as we have already discussed, that provident fund is an outside liability, and other than case of dissolution, it will be carried forward in the new balance sheet as it is. So 20,000 of provident fund will be carried forward in the similar manner in the new balance sheet. Then the capitals of X, Y, and Z will be shown as the opening capital balances on the credit side of the capital account while preparing partners capital account. Then on the asset side, we have cash in hand and cash at bank, debtors, stock, investments at cost, freehold property, trademarks, and goodwill. So this goodwill of 33,000 is already appearing in the books at the time of retirement. So this needs to be written off among all the partners in the old ratio. And the entry would be X's capital account debited 11,000, Y's capital account debited 11,000, and Z's capital account debited 11,000 to goodwill account 33,000. We are crediting goodwill because goodwill is an asset, therefore it carries a debit balance. But now we are writing it off, so therefore it will carry an opposite balance, that is credit balance. Z retires on 1st April 2011 subject to the following adjustments. The first adjustment is freehold property to be valued at rupees 5,80,000. So as you can see, the value of freehold property is 4 lakh. Now it has to be valued at 5,80,000. That means 1,80,000 is to be increased. So this is an increase in asset which will be shown on the credit side of revaluation account, that is by freehold property with the amount of increase, that is 1,80,000. And the entry would be freehold property account debited 1,80,000 to revaluation account 1,80,000. The second adjustment, investments to be valued at 47,000 and stocks to be valued at 94,000. So as you can see, the value of investment in the balance sheet is 50, but now it has to be valued at 47,000. That means investment is to be reduced by 3,000. So this is decrease in asset which will be shown on the debit side of revaluation account as to investment 3,000, and the entry would be revaluation account debited 3,000 to investment account 3,000. And stock is to be valued at 94,000. As you can see, the value of stock is 1 lakh, and now it has to be valued at 94,000. That means 6,000 from stock is to be reduced. Again, this is a decrease in asset which will be shown on the debit side of revaluation account as to stock 6,000, and the entry would be revaluation account debited 6,000 to stock account 6,000. And definitely you can pass the combined entry. The third point, a provision of 5% to be made for doubtful debts. So provision for doubtful debts is to be maintained on debtors. So 5% of 2 lakh will be 10,000. So this provision creation is an increase in liability. It will be shown on the debit side of revaluation account as to provision for doubtful debts 10,000, and the entry will be revaluation account debited 10,000 to provision for doubtful debts account 10,000. Then trademarks are valueless. That means now the trademarks have zero value. So earlier the value of trademarks was 20,000. So since it has become valueless, it will be a decrease in asset. It will be shown on the debit side of revaluation account as 2 trademarks, the entire value of trademark, that is 20,000. So the entry will be revaluation account debited 20,000 to trademarks account 20,000. Then an item of 12,000 included in creditors is not likely to be claimed. So that means creditors has to be reduced by 12,000. So this is a decrease in liability. It will be shown on the credit side of revaluation account as by creditors 12,000. And the entry will be creditors account debited 12,000 to revaluation account 12,000. So these are the separate journal entries. Definitely you can combine the entries of revaluation account debit side separately and credit side separately. And after putting the items on the debit and the credit side, you can compare whether it is a profit or a loss. Point number 6. Goodwill to be valued at 1 year's purchase of the average profit of the past 3 years. Profit ending 31st March 2009 was 1,20,000, 2010 was 1 lakh, and 2011 was 95,000. So these are the profits given of different years. We will add it, then we will get the total profit, then we will divide it by the number of years, then we will get the average profit, and we will multiply the average profit with 1, that is 1 year's purchase of goodwill. Then we will get the amount of firm's goodwill. Then we will take out the retiring partner share, that is the Z's share, which will be contributed by the gaining partners in the gaining ratio. And since you can see that in this question no information is given about the new PSR or the gaining ratio, so we will assume or we will strike out the share of the retiring partner. That means we will be left with the remaining share as 1:1. So that remaining share will become the new PSR as well as the gaining ratio. So his share of goodwill will be contributed by both X and Y equally. You have to pass journal entries, give capital accounts and the balance sheet of the remaining partners. So this is the calculation of goodwill. Total profits of the last 3 years, 1,20,000 plus 1 lakh plus 95,000, that is 3,15,000. Now average profit is equal to total profit, that is 3,15,000 divided by number of years, that is 3. So average profit comes to rupees 1,05,000, and firm's goodwill will be average profit multiplied by number of years goodwill purchase. That means 1,05,000 into 1, that is 1,05,000. Now the share of Z will be firm's goodwill, that is 1,05,000 multiplied by his share of profit, that is 1/3. So it will come to rupees 35,000, which will be contributed by X and Y in the gaining ratio, that is equally. So since no information was given, we have simply striked out the share of the retiring partner. Now this is the revaluation account. As we have already explained, we have discussed on the debit side, we have shown the decrease in assets, that is investment 3,000, stock 6,000, provision for doubtful debt, that is increase in liability 10,000, then again decrease in trademarks 20,000. And on the credit side, we have shown the increase in assets and decrease in liabilities, that is freehold property as 1,80,000 and creditors 12,000. So after putting up all the items, we have compared the debit side with the credit side, and we found out that the credit side is greater than the debit side. Therefore there is a revaluation profit of rupees 1,53,000, and since it is a case of retirement, therefore this revaluation profit of 1,53,000 is to be divided among or distributed among all the partners X, Y, Z in the equal ratio, that is the old ratio in this case, 1:1:1. Therefore the profit will be transferred to X's capital account 51,000, Y's capital account 51,000 and Z's capital account 51,000, and the total of both the sides is 19,200, basically 1,92,000. And since it is a revaluation profit, it will increase their capital balances, therefore it will be shown on the credit side of their capital account. So this is the journal entries. As you can see, we have passed the journal entries on the date of retirement. The first journal entry is for decrease in assets and increase in liabilities. We have combined. You can pass the separate entries as well, but if you pass combined, it will be better, it will save your time. So we have debited revaluation account with 39,000, To investments account 3,000, to stock 6,000, to provision for doubtful debts 10,000, and to trademarks 20,000. The next entry is for decrease in liabilities and increase in assets, that is creditors account debited 12,000, freehold property account debited 1,80,000, to revaluation account 1,92,000. The next entry is for distribution of revaluation profit. Revaluation account debited 1,53,000 with the amount of profit, to excess capital account 51,000, to Y's capital account 51,000, and to Z's capital account 51,000. The next entry is for the goodwill of retiring partner Z 35,000 contributed by the gaining partners X and Y in the gaining ratio. And since they are contributing the goodwill, therefore their capital would decrease and therefore it will carry a debit balance. So excess capital account debited 17,500, Y's capital account debited 17,500, to Z's capital account 35,000. And the last entry is for settlement of the balance. So before discussing this entry, let us discuss the capital account of the partners. On the credit side, first of all, we have shown the opening balances of X, Y and Z, as buy balance brought down 3 lakh in case of X, 2 lakh for Y and 2 lakh for Z. Then whatever increases the capital balances will be shown on the credit side, and whatever decreases it will be shown on the debit side. So on the credit side, we have also shown by revaluation, that is the amount of profit, 51,000 to X, 51,000 to Y and 51,000 to Z. Then also on the credit side, we have shown the share of goodwill of the retiring partner, and which he is getting from X and Y. So we have written by excess capital account, and the amount is shown in the Z's column because the capital of Z is increasing. Then by Y's capital account, again the amount in the column of Z because Z's capital is increasing. Then by general reserve, that is distribution of reserve, 20,000 to X, 20,000 to Y and 20,000 to Z. Then on the debit side, we have shown all those items because of which the capital balances reduce or decrease. First of all, we have shown the goodwill written off, 11,000 to X, 11,000 to Y and 11,000 to Z. Then because of contribution of goodwill by the gaining partners, the capital of the gaining partners has reduced. Therefore, we have shown it on the debit side as 2Z's capital because they are giving it to Z. But the amount is shown on the those partners amount column whose balance is reducing. So 17,500 we have shown in the column for X and 17,000 in the column for Y. So after putting all the adjustments, we have compared the credit balance of Z with the debit balance, and we found out that there is a difference. The credit side is greater than the debit side with 2,95,000. So this is the balance of the retiring partner, which either can be paid immediately in cash or can be transferred to his loan account as the question says. But since nothing is mentioned in this question, therefore we will transfer it to his loan account. So we have transferred the balance 2,95,000 to Z's loan account, and therefore the entry for transferring it to the loan account will be Z's capital account debited 2,95,000 because now his capital is being closed, to Z's loan account 2,95,000. So this is the last entry which we have passed. Z's capital account debited 2,95,000 to Z's loan account 2,95,000 for balance of Z's capital transferred to his loan account. Then Z's account has been settled. Now we will calculate the closing balances of X and Y as we used to calculate after comparing in debit and credit side. So we have seen that the closing balance of X is 3,42,500 and Y is 2,42,500, which we have shown as two balance carried down on the debit side because credit side is greater than the debit side. Therefore, balancing figure will appear on the debit side. So ultimately, the total of three partners capital account is 3,71,000, 2,71,000 and 3,06,000 respectively on both the sides. Now let us discuss the balance sheet as at 1st April 2011, that is on the date of retirement. So on the asset side, we have shown cash in hand and at bank 86,000 as it is, since there is no change. Then we have shown debtors 2 lakh minus provision because we have created for 5% 10,000. So the net value of debtors is 1,90,000. Then the value of stock after revaluation comes to 94,000. Value of investments after revaluation comes to 47,000. And value of freehold property after revaluation comes to 5,80,000. And since trademarks were valueless, therefore we have not shown the trademarks. On the liabilities side, since we have already distributed general reserve, so it will not be shown. Then creditors, after the revaluation, the value will be 97,000. Provident fund, since it is a outside liability, it will be carried forwarded as it is. Then we have shown Z's loan account as 2,95,000 because it is a liability. And then we have shown the capital balances of the remaining partners X and Y, 3,42,500 and 2,42,500, which means the total capital of the remaining partners is 5,85,000. So ultimately the balance sheet will get tallied with the total of 9,97,000 on the liabilities as well as the asset side. Be very careful with the date. The date of new balance sheet will be the date of retirement of the partner. So this is the solution and the working note for the question number 12A, which we have discussed from the practical question of your book DK Goel. Now let us discuss one more question. This is practical question number 14 from your book. The following was the balance sheet of Ram and Shyam as at 31st March 2012. You can see on the liabilities side, Ram's capital, Shyam's capital is given. Reserve of 6,000 is given to you. If there is no adjustment, then it will be transferred or distributed among Ram and Shyam in the old ratio. Then employees provident fund is given as 500, and since you know that provident fund is an outside liability, so it will be carried forwarded as it is. Then creditors is given to you as 10,000 and net profit is given to you 6,000. So this net profit will be treated as undistributed profit and it will be distributed among Ram and Shyam in the old ratio. On the asset side, you can see plant and machinery, patent, stock in trade, debtors and cash. So below the balance sheet, Ram retired from the business on 1st April 2012. So if you are asked to prepare the new balance sheet, then you will prepare it on 1st April 2012. Goodwill is to be valued at 10,000. So this is the firm's goodwill, out of which you will take out Ram's share, which will be contributed by the gaining partner. Since there is only one partner left, then that means Shyam will contribute it. The patents were valueless. That means the value of patent has decreased to 0. So it will be shown on the debit side of revaluation account. 2 patents as rupees 2,000. Plant and machinery is to be depreciated by 10%. So the plant and machinery value is 50,000. So 10% will be the depreciation. That means it is a reduction in the value of plant and machinery. So 5,000 will be shown on the debit side of revaluation account as 2 plant and machinery 5,000. Then a provision of 5% for doubtful debts is to be created on book debts. So as you can see, the value of debtors is 4,000. So 5% provision is to be created on it. That means 200. So it is an increase in liability. It will be shown on the debit side as 2 provision for doubtful debts 200. Assuming that these adjustments are duly carried out, show the capital accounts and the balance sheet of Shyam after Ram has been paid off. Shyam borrows money from his bank on security of plant and machinery to pay off Ram. That means Ram is immediately paid by taking the loan from the bank by Shyam. And since no ratio is given in this question, then we will assume it to be the equal ratio as per section 13. Let us discuss the solution. First, you can see the revaluation account. On the debit side, we have shown decrease in assets and 2 patents 2,000, 2 plant and machinery 5,000, 2 provision for doubtful debts 200. And on the credit side, it was nothing shown. So therefore, we have compared the debit side and the credit side. we found out that the debit side was more than the credit side with 7200. So this will be considered as a loss which will be distributed among all the partners in the old ratio. And since no ratio is given in this question, so we will distribute it equally. So by loss transferred to Ram's capital 3600 and Shyam's capital 3600. And since it is a loss transfer to their capital, it will decrease their value, their capital balance. Therefore, it will be shown on the debit side of the capital account. So the total of debit and the credit side will be 7200 each. Then after we have prepared capital accounts, on the credit side we have shown the opening balances of Ram and Shyam as by balance brought down 30,000 and 27,500. Then on the credit side we have also shown by reserve. That means we have distributed the reserve of 6,000 in the equal ratio. So 3,000 in Ram and 3,000 in Shyam's column. Then net profits, that will be transferred in the name of PL account. So we have put it in the credit side by PL account, 3,000 in Ram's column and 3,000 in Shyam's column. Then on the debit side we have put up all those things which reduces the capital. Now as you know that on the date of retirement the goodwill of the retiring partner was valued at goodwill of the firm was valued at 10,000. So out of this firm's goodwill, the retiring partner share, that means 1 by 2, since there are only two partners and they are sharing equally. So 1 by 2, that is 5,000, will be contributed by the gaining partner. So in this case there is only one partner who will be the gaining partner. That means 5,000 amount of goodwill of Shyam by Shyam will be contributed to the retiring partner Ram. So on the credit side we have shown by Shyam's capital because the partner Shyam is contributing the goodwill and Ram's balance will increase. Therefore we have written by Shyam's capital amount in Ram's column 5,000. Then on the debit side the balance of Ram's capital we have written it in the particulars as 2 Ram's capital, and amount we have written in Shyam's column because of this contribution the balance of Shyam is decreasing as 5,000 because he is contributing to the goodwill of the retiring partner. Then to revaluation account we are writing off the loss of revaluation account, that is 3600 in Ram and 3600 in Shyam. So we have put up all the points, all the adjustments. Now we will compare the debit and the credit side of the retiring partner Ram to see the balance to be paid. So after comparing we found out that the balance left to be paid to Ram is 37,500, but cash available in the firm is only 1,000, and the question said that it will be paid off completely with the help of bank loan if required. So since 37,400 is to be paid, 1,000 cash is available, so we have paid 1,000 in cash to Ram. So we have written to cash account 1,000 in the amount column of, and after paying 1,000 in cash, the deficit amount of 36,400 will be arranged by the firm by way of bank loan. And whenever the bank loan is taken, as we know, the amount is transferred to our bank account by the bank when the loan is sanctioned. So ultimately the money is going from our bank account. Therefore we have written to bank account with the remaining balance 36,400. So we have settled the account of Ram, and then thereafter we have calculated the closing balance of Shyam, which is coming on the debit side as to balance carried down 24,900. And thereafter the total of Ram and Shyam is coming to 41,000 and 33,500 respectively on the debit and the credit side. Now this is the balance sheet after the retirement of the remaining partner, that is there is only one partner Shyam. Balance sheet as at 1st April 2012, that is on the date of retirement. On the asset side we have shown debtors 4,000 minus provision 200. The net value is coming to 3,800. Then stock in trade 23,000, plant and machinery 45,000 after evaluation, and we have not shown the valueless assets. On the liabilities side we have shown bank loan because we had to take the bank loan to settle the payment. We were falling short of money, 36,400, and we have also mentioned in the brackets that it is secured by plant and machinery. We have not shown any bank balance because as soon as we took the loan, the entire money was utilized to pay off RAM. Then we have shown creditors as 10,000. Employees Provident Fund, we have carried forwarded as it is because it was an outside liability, 500. And then we have shown Shyam's capital, the balancing figure 24,900. So the total of balance sheet comes to 71,800 on both the sides. And then this is the working note. As we have already discussed, Ram's share of goodwill will be firm's share of goodwill, that is 10,000, multiplied by retiring partner share 1/2, that means 5,000. It will be debited to Shyam's capital and will be credited to Ram's capital. So this was the solution to practical question which we have discussed here. I hope both the questions are clear to you, and so are the adjustments which we have discussed, revaluation account and the payment or settlement of retiring partners capital balance. So this is the assignment based on this part. You have to answer the following questions in your register. Question number 1, you have to revise and redo the questions taught in this video. The 2 questions which we have discussed here, you have to revise it and redo it in your register. And question number 2, you have to solve practical question number 12B, because A we have done in this video, 13, 15, 16 and 17 from the chapter Retirement or Death of a Partner of Accounts book by D.K. Goyal volume 1. So these questions are purely based on the type of questions and adjustments we have discussed till now. Since it is a practical question, it will be fruitful for you if you practice more and more questions. Thank you children. Go through the video, revise them, revise all the adjustments, entries, formulas and complete all the homework. Thank you children. Take care.